What's up everybody, back with another Oh My God Heroes Assemble video, and in this one I just wanted to recap week 1, go over the events, go over my thoughts whether good or bad after a week of playing, and also go over some of the mistakes that I feel I made that you could avoid. Let's get it. So as you can see right now, I am going into the second week of playing, so I will be showing footage from last week on the screen. I just wanted to cover the basics for the first week beginner quests. For the most part, they were very easy to do. I didn't have any trouble. I am playing this game with a friend who's doing this fully free to play, and he was able to complete them no problem. So I think that's pretty good. The rewards you get are very good, but once again, the main thing you really want to focus on here, you go into your express goal, these summon events where you have to do 400 summons to finish one rotation. There's also a chest one as well, but it's not active right now. You can do this 5 rotations. If you cannot make the 400 before the event duration ends, I'd suggest not to do it. As you can see, mine is ending right now in 1 hour and 37 minutes. And I didn't do any summons because I knew I wasn't going to be able to reach that 400. And you really want those universal red shards. They're very handy. You're going to see that the hero shard requirements skyrocket. They double very quickly. And I'm actually going to get into that right now. So if we open up my roster, this is what I'm currently working with. As you can see, I did invest a lot into King Arthur. I didn't really want to do too much research on the game. I like to go into new games fresh, learn things on my own. That's just how I play the game. It's not the smartest way. You can be definitely more efficient with your money or your time if you look up guides, but that's just what I do. So I did invest into King Arthur. The game was giving me a lot of shards. I actually didn't use too many red universal shards on him. But as you can see right now, to take him to the next star, which is I'm just going to call it a yellow star, it's going to cost 160 hero shards. This is really expensive because before this, it was only 80. So if we open up, say, my Dragon Doll, you can see it's 80 shards per star. So 160 is a big jump. I'm going to put an image on the screen right here that I found. So as you can see, with each new Ascension milestone, basically, your shard count is going to be doubling. So once you get to fully red stars right here and you're going into your first yellow, I would be very cautious of the hero you're going to be doing this on. So for me, King Arthur, I'm probably going to keep him here, and I've heard a lot of good things about Dragon Doll and Napoleon. So Dragon Doll is really underperforming for me right now, and I think that's because he's not early game. I saw a lot of players start to say that he shines around level 11,000 plus. As you can see, I'm only at 2,400. Quite a ways away. I don't know if I'm going to play the game for that long. Right now, I'm still currently having fun, but as I've learned with mobile games, the interest level that I seem to have as I get older is harder to maintain. If I see a dev do a wrong decision, typically what happens is it's going to start a landslide and then more bad decisions happen. But my fingers are crossed because I am enjoying this game right now. But if we go back here, I am going to start working on Dragon Doll. So he is a late game hero that I'm told. Napoleon is also a really good choice. Unfortunately, I haven't got a lot of copies of him from doing summons. Now, the reason why I really like King Arthur, and he is a really strong early game hero, so it's kind of like a bait because your first top-up offer does include a copy of him. And the reason why I think he's really good is he has a lot of good sustain. However, if he gets bursted down, he's just going to be no use because with his passive right here, once you unlock this Divine Guard, when he drops below 30% HP, he's going to do an attack, and depending on how much damage is dealt, 50% of that is going to heal him back. So if you have a strong King Arthur, when you see him pop that up, usually it's to full. But like I said, if he gets CC'd or if he gets bursted down, then basically his sustain means nothing. So that's another reason why I think I'm going to hold off on him right now and start working into Dragon Doll, who's a DPSer. It looks like an assassin hero. And I've been looking over his skills, and the reason why I guess I overlooked him is because he just wasn't impressive to me early on. But I really like this skill right here where he can block one enemy attack and he also adds a shield based off his attack. And for his passive right here, he marks the enemy with the lowest HP each turn. And then that target, I believe, receives increased damage. And if that target dies, permanently increases the attack of all allies, which would be including himself. So he's a very strong hero, it looks like. He just needs a lot of investment. As for Napoleon, I think this hero is really good because of his passive. So when one of your dogs die, he actually restores HP based off his attack. And then excess healing will turn into a shield. And you'll notice that he can get this shield humongous. He becomes a tanking machine. And then with his other passive right here, Emperor's Glory, you can see here his base attack now targets the front enemies, absorbing a shield of his attack plus the number of targets. He's doing AoE damage on his basic attack. He's getting more shields. He's a very good tank with high damage output. And then we also have TOPDOG. Now TOPDOG I also haven't been getting too many copies of, but even at this low of stars, I've noticed that this hero has actually been able to put out a lot of damage. And two of the things I really like about this hero is the passive jumping notes. When enemies are stunned, TOPDOG recovers HP, and then when enemies are frozen, TOPDOG's attack is added by 20% for 3 turns. If you look at the other passive, I believe it's this one right here. Basic attack now hits all enemies with a 20% rate to burn, freeze, or stun. So you're going to be able to proc this passive easier because of that AoE basic attack. And then obviously the active, which I will consider the ultimate of your dog hero. And then because that basic is going to be proccing off those debuffs a lot, you're going to do an extra 40% damage to the enemies. So I've seen very high invested TOPDOGs output a lot of damage. And that is another hero that I think is really good. I just wanted to cover those 4 because those seem to be the most talked about when you're starting out the game. King Arthur, Dragon Doll, and Napoleon being the top 3. Now, because of this shard system that I went over on how much it skyrockets based off that image, I think it's going to be very important to only invest into one hero, especially if you're free to play or a low spender. One hero should be enough. Put all of your universal hero shards into that hero. Make it the strongest. So that is why you should do a little bit of research. Like I said, I'm new to the game. I don't know everything. They do have a Discord, which I have linked down below. There's a lot of helpful players in there, but there's also a lot of spam because they lack Discord mods. So just be careful of that. Another point I just wanted to mention out is the generosity of this game for the global launch, beginner quests. Like I said, I do have a friend who's fully free to play, and he's very close to my progression. I wasn't exactly sure why my campaign level was so much lower than his, despite me spending a little bit of money. I think it's been like 15 bucks. And that's because if you're using an emulator, if you leave it running overnight, you actually farm faster. I didn't know this. I could have just simply had my emulator open, have the game running all night. I would have been much further than I am now. I would have never thought this. I thought it wouldn't make a difference. I thought if I closed the game and he was autoing, he would do the same amount if he was the game open, but apparently not. That's just a tip that I thought I would mention. The main difference between my account and his is my dog stars. Obviously, I was able to do more summons so I could get more star levels for my heroes. But then if I look over his tower level, he's not that much far behind me. My last point that I wanted to bring up is I feel this game has a lot of good value packs. A lot of mobile games I try out now, they're just super expensive, but this one has a lot of good value, especially anytime you see the BP passes. These are extremely good value. I think there was 2 for $5, and then this one's now $10. If you look at everything you get and you compare it to other offers you see in the game, this is second to none. This is basically like your growth pack. And I find if you're ever playing a game with a growth pack, growth fund, whatever it may be called, this is the top value you can get in the game. So if you're a low spender, high spender, whatever you consider yourself, I would highly recommend these. Then there's also like Glory Tower BP passes. If you look here, you can spend 30 USD and you're gonna get all of this. Like I said, if you compare that to other methods, it's just really cheap, good value. Then there's a lot of random pop-up offers that are under $5 that have good value. Like this one just popped up for completing stage level 2300. Then there was another BP pass I think popped up after my first week. Right here, so the train BP. This one lasts for 30 days, so you're not rushed as much to buy this one. But you can see all the goodies you're gonna get here. And I really appreciate that because I find a lot of games just are super greedy. And so far, this game seems to be pretty friendly for the low spenders and even the free-to-play players. My top 2 main concerns after the week of playing is definitely cookies. I find I can just never get enough of this, which is like your gold, like I mentioned in my first video. You just get drained so fast. As you can see, like it's gonna cost me, hold on a second. It's gonna cost me for 10 times almost 8 million to level up my master. And I think for this reason alone, it's just easier to level up just your master and your main carry. I find that's what I've been doing because if I try to spread this out, yes, I'm going to get more overall combat power. Like if we go to the main screen, you can see mine's almost 26 million. If I were to spread out these levels to everyone, I would most likely get more. But for that early game progression, when you're trying to get all your quests done for the beginner frenzy, for the global launch, I would suggest just to focus your master and then your top carry. You also definitely want to take advantage of this redeem cookies, not so much for the one time, but when you get here for 10-time exchange for 300 dog tickets, as I call them, or they're actually called dog notes. When you do this, you have to click this watch the ad. You have to double these rewards. So when we're back after watching that ad, and I was able to double that again. And then I will also do the 6-time exchange for 180 tickets, and then I'll watch another ad. And that actually leads me into another point, has to deal with these ads. Now, I have no problem with the game making money for watching ads. I feel like a lot of games don't do this. Instead, they just charge a lot for certain packs. But there's a lot of ads in this game. Like your daily bonuses, you can watch 3 ads. Your AFK rewards, you can watch 3 ads. If we go over to the dog shop, you can watch 3 ads for 3 summons. If you go to the black market, you can reset the shop for free by watching 3 different ads. You just saw me watch some ads for some more cookies. They really need to implement an ad pass where, whether that's weekly, monthly, permanently, somewhere where you can buy an ad pass, where if you buy it and then you go to, say, the daily bonuses and you click that ad button, it just instantly finishes. And I think this was easy revenue for the company to get if they do this. And then, like I mentioned in my review video, more engaging game modes. I should be more exact. Like if we go to the Ancient Relic, it's really good because this resets every single day. Regardless if I were to get to level 5, when this rolls back around to Flame Ruins, it resets. I can get that 1 summon again every single time I pass a higher level. Like if I click on challenge and then I skip it, you can see 1, I do it again, skip it. I do know that this does ramp up in difficulty really fast. I think I mentioned that. Level 4, it gets crazy. I didn't even damage them. Then you can simply just raid for rune shards. The issue is it's pretty boring, I'm not gonna lie. My main source of entertainment is actually boss invasion, simply because you can just challenge the boss an infinite number of times. My biggest criticism here is it does not show you a damage chart. There's no way to see the battle statistics or the battle report. There's no way for me to see what heroes are doing what damage. Maybe I want to swap one out because they're not doing as much. Try a different lineup, do that. I'm just going in blind because as you can see, I did 112 million. But if I were to do this again, look at that, 21 million. It's such a big difference in RNG depending on what heroes die and what heroes don't. Like 34 million. There's no consistent source of damage I'm doing. So yeah, they really need to add a damage chart. And then for the King boss, you only get 5 attempts, and then after that, you have to buy more with those dog tickets. So I wish there was a way to spar this or do practice runs at no cost, just so you can see what kind of damage you're outputting with a certain lineup. And then when you're ready, then you can click challenge and then it takes up an attempt. I just wish you could do that because as you saw with the boss invasion, my damage is so random, like from 20 million to 170 million. Like it's just all over the place. And the same goes for this King boss. Now this is a reoccurring boss. I believe this is going to be the same for the entire week, so technically I could just remember the lineup that got me the most damage, but I still would like a way to maybe do a practice run or something like that. If I just briefly look at all the other game modes, Arena is pretty meh, nothing really much going on here. Glory Tower is really good, but once you get stuck, and then you just have to basically try different lineups, which is like any other game. So I do like Glory Tower, but my favorite is still Boss Invasion, just because I can do unlimited theory crafting. With Glory Tower, you do use up challenge chances, so as you can see, I'm 3 out of 10, and if I go here and I use that, then I'm at 2 out of 10, and then I gotta wait for that to regen, which I believe you get 1 every 30 minutes or something like that. But yeah, week 1 is done. As for the second week, it seems to be the same beginner quests, except they're just higher requirements than the last week. Nothing wrong with that. The rewards are great. I'm happy about that. But still, my biggest concern is going to be once this global launch events are over, such as these beginner quests for the week 1, week 2, however much this goes up to, how exciting is this game going to be after that? If you have given this game a shot, let me know down in the comments what you think of it. If you are a new player and you're thinking of downloading this game, I do have an LD Player affiliate link and BlueStacks affiliate link in the video description and the pinned comment. If you click on that and download the game, it does help me out, helps with the channel, and I appreciate that a lot. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.